friends, in this video we are going to discussing about selection of biomaterials. There are the four important steps, logical sequence that will be we have to take consider about while selecting the biomaterials. The first thing you have to analyze the problem. Analyzing the problem means you have to think about what will be the biomedical application you have to use the biomaterials. And second thing, you have to consideration of the requirement. The requirements are we have to think about what are the things that will be required for designing the biomaterials with respect to the biomedical applications. And third thing, you have to consider about available materials and the material properties that will be used for applications. And finally, you have to choose the material. The first step, you have to analyze and you have to consider about the requirement, and third thing, you have to check whether the material is available, and you have to think about the properties of the material, and finally you have to choose the best material for your biomedical applications. So the specific biomaterial is now the consider with respect to the choice of biomaterials. So the proper specifications of the desired function for the biomaterials. The first thing, you have to determine the what is the proper specification and what will be the desired function. And second thing, while choosing the biomaterial, you have to think about where you have to fix the biomaterial. So the what you have to think about environment which is it might be used in the function, like an accurate characterizations of the environment in which the place the biomaterial will be functioning. And third thing, you have to think about the length of the time the biomaterial will be placed inside the human body. And finally, you have to, and most importantly, you have to think about the whether the biomaterial is safe for human use. The first thing, you have to think about this proper specification and the desired function, and second thing, you have to think about how long the biomaterial should be doing the function inside the human body, and third thing, you have to think about where the biomaterial will be placed and what will be the environment, whether it is in salty environment, whether it is in soft environment, whether it is in protein environment. You have to think about the environment where you have to fix the biomaterial, and most important, and finally, you have to think about whether the material is safe for the human use. Materials evaluations. There are the much and much more materials are biomaterials are increases, so we have to think about, we have to give the more important to be protected from the unsuitable products and or unsuitable materials from humans. Okay, so for avoiding them, you have to evaluate the materials. In most of the manufacturers of the material that operates an extensive quality assurance programs for testing the materials before releasing into the general practitioner. The standard specification, you have to testing of the certain products, and you have the methods, you have to follow the calculating the results, you have to accept the minimum result which will be giving the maximum result. So the ISO which is effectively maintain the quality levels, and which will be give the national international standard organizations which provides the standards for the materials. And next, after the ISO recognition, it will be move on to the laboratory evaluations. Here your material that will be indicates the sustainability of the certain materials. You have to check whether the material having the good sustainability, good mechanical properties, good physical properties, everything. Okay, now it is important that the method that will be evaluating the materials in the laboratory give the good results, but that will be the result that will be taken from the laboratory that will be correlated with the clinical experiences. Again, after first you have to give the ISO certification, and you have to check in the laboratory, and the most important, the final step is clinical trials. So although the laboratory tester can give the best and good results on the materials, the ultimate test is controlled by the clinical trials, because the many materials that produces the good results in the laboratory only to be found that will be lacking in the subjects that will be directly fit with the clinical uses. So while coming to the clinical uses, the functions and the results of the material will be maybe lack. So the majority of the manufacturers that carry out the extensive clinical trials on the new materials and incorporated with the university hospital management prior releasing their product for the use of the general practitioner. The success and the failures are seen with